Hey everybody, it's Brandon here, the ApprenticeEwok. I wanted to take some time and uh, let you guys get to know me a little bit better now that I'm going to be posting more regularly. I created this YouTube channel last year, and I initially started doing top 5 lists and was going to do product reviews and stuff like that. But then I kind of morphed it into a gaming channel, but then I kind of moved on to Twitch for that. But then I just kind of took a break for 5 months just because the kind of year that it was. Star Wars has really helped me during the pandemic. I have met so many great people online, and I'm having a lot of fun doing this. So I wanted to let you guys get to know me a little bit better. So I asked on Twitter, I asked if there were any questions anybody had for a Q&A. So I have 7 questions. A couple really fun ones, and 2 of them that it's going to be hard for me to answer. So let's see here. I'm going to start with Dark Mark at Blue Harvest Toys. Asked me, do you have any vintage Star Wars? And the answer to that is no. I don't have any vintage, and I don't have any of the vintage collection. But that is going to be changing. I talked to Mark and Andy at Holo Chronicles and got their advice a little bit, and I am going to start trying to collect some of the vintage figures. So I've already made 2 purchases. I'm going to keep those a secret for what they are right now. Andy knows one of them, but I'm excited to start that journey. So look forward to maybe a video or a couple videos about that journey with me, and yeah. So that's question 1 out of the way. And then Neil at Uncle Nezer asked, what is your collecting focus, and do you have a favorite item? And the answer to that is no, I don't have a focus. As you can see, the stuff behind me is it's kind of random. I don't keep things in their boxes, and I just have stuff that I think is cool. I have, one Lego ship there. It's Anakin's Jedi Fighter. I've got a whole bunch of Pop Funkos because they're cheap, and that's the only thing I could collect for a long time. I've got a couple Pez. I've got, a dozen so books, and then some Black Series figures. But so no, I really don't have a focus. It's mainly what I think is cool. But my favorite item that I have would be my lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge, the protection and defense. I went to Galaxy's Edge the weekend before Disneyland closed down, so my timing was impeccable, and I got to make this saber, and the experience of making the saber was so cool. I not only enjoyed it for myself, but there was a kid who made one that looked like an Inquisitor saber, and he put the red crystal in and lit it up, and his face, like, seeing him do that almost made me cry. The guy next to me had tears in his eyes. While we were waiting for the different stuff, he was like, oh, what are you doing? And we talked about it. So I designed this. I picked these parts because I was excited for the High Republic. I love the gilded look of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I like the lightsabers that you make at Savi's. It was really cool to actually put them together and then have it all work. And I like the Legacy sabers. I'm sad I didn't spend the money to get a Legacy saber while I was there. I would definitely get the Luke Skywalker Legacy saber, but I did not, and I wish I could go back and get it. So hopefully sometime down the line. I like the Legacy sabers because the hilts look really nice. The electronics inside and the sound and the motion sensing is not that great, but the hilts look really, really good. So that's the answer to your question, Neil. I'm going to go with River Song at Lady Space Opera. They asked, what is it about Star Wars that brings you joy? And I'm going to say so many things. I can't pin it down. Um, just just in this last year, I've experienced so many positive things within the fandom and the community that it brings. And while one Star Wars thing might not be for you, most of it could be. But then you find little things that people enjoy, and when you focus on the things that you enjoy about it, your joy can grow. When you see somebody that is excited about something else, it I'm able to make myself excited about it for them, even if it's not something I enjoy particularly. So I'm gonna say the fandom and just the community is something that I enjoy about Star Wars. And just like any fandom, there are gonna be negative parts, but when you find people that make you feel good about being a fan and make it easier for you to be a fan, that's the best part. So Matthew Harrington asks, why are Ewoks your favorite? I named my account ApprenticeEwok. I was like, that's really funny. It's apprentice and then Ewok. Growing up with my mom, we watched Star Wars. She's the one who introduced me to Star Wars. So we'd watch the original trilogy and Return of the Jedi. I was a kid. I was only a couple years old, and something about the Ewoks, the way they moved, how silly they were, it stuck with me the whole time. When I was a couple years old, my mom either made or had an Ewok costume made for me, so I went as an Ewok for Halloween. So, just the history that I have with Ewoks and how cool they are. So that kind of gets into Andy Lemire's question. Andy from Hollow Chronicles. How did the name, Ewok, one of my favorite characters, or species, and I attached something Star Wars in front of it. So I started out as ApprenticeEwok. So that's mainly it. I even had a little piece of art done with an Ewok holding a lightsaber on Endor. So those two questions kind of went together, so that was pretty fun. So let's see here. I've got 2 questions left, and these are the hard ones. And they came from 2 of my best friends from college. They were people that I lived in the same dorm room with my freshman year. We were on the same, not dorm room, but same dorm. We were on the same freshman floor. So, Boonana asks 1, and she asked 3 questions. So, technically 10 questions altogether. So, I know you've been a Star Wars fan for years. Do you know what your very first merch item was? And I'm going to have to say it was probably a Phantom Menace toy. I am not sure what it would be. I have pictures of me wearing a shirt that was the Phantom Menace, R2D2 and C3PO, and I'm holding a couple action figures. So I'm gonna say it was one of the Episode 1 figures, like a Qui-Gon or an Anakin or a Padme. I had pretty much all of them. And then that shirt. I watched Star Wars with my mom, but I think, it was only 4 years old when Phantom Menace came out. So it had to be a Phantom Menace toy. So that's answer to your first question. Question number 2 is, if Star Wars is your number 1 fandom / series, what would be numbers 2 and 3? And I think you know the answer to this. A 2 would have to be Lord of the Rings, the whole Middle Earth. I loved the books. I think when I was in 2nd or 3rd grade, the librarian had to call home and from school and ask someone if it was okay for me to read the Lord of the Rings books, because the other kids were not reading stuff that complex yet, and I still think Two Towers is my favorite book in all of the in all of Tolkien's works. Um, and I love the Lord of the Rings movies. I love the music. So Lord of the Rings would be 2, and then 3 would probably be Game of Thrones. I, you know, we used to watch it in the dorm rooms, and then in our apartment when we got one. I've got the 3 Funko Pops that I have that aren't Star Wars are Jon Snow, Daenerys, and the Ice King, or not the Ice King, the Night King. um. So, yeah, I just love the world that is set in, and it's kind of nice that characters aren't safe. Um, and I just love the grittiness and the complexity of the stories. And when you read the books, there are so many hints and clues and stuff like that. And George R. R. Martin is pretty much just playing with your emotions. Hopefully, he gets a chance to finish the books. So, Game of Thrones would be my number 3. And then Brianna's third question is, which character design is your favorite? This can be drawn characters or a costume from the live action. And it's going to seem like an easy answer or a cheap answer, but I'm going to have to go and say Boba Fett. Maybe Jango Fett because it's a cleaner, sleeker look. It's fresher. But I remember seeing Boba Fett when I was a kid, and I had the Jango Fett toys because, Episode 2 Attack of the Clones was when I was growing up. But it was really cool to see Boba Fett come back and get his armor back, and then to repaint his armor. He's getting the chance to be the awesome character that I always believed that he was from reading the comics and seeing stuff from the EU and playing with action figures. So that's Boba Fett. I mean, I've got a Boba Fett mug, a Boba Fett Funko Pop. I pre-ordered the Boba Fett repainted helmet from the Black Series. I got the deluxe Boba Fett where he's doing the flamethrower and stuff like that. I have those pre-ordered for sometime this next year. So I'm excited to add that to my shelf back there. And then last but not least is Liz. She asks, what particular moment in Star Wars made you become such a dedicated lifelong fan? And that is such a hard question to answer because it's not one moment. It's all of the moments. It's all of those little things that bring me joy. But if I had to nail it down, I would say the trench run and the Death Star exploding, or it from Star Wars, and then or Return of the Jedi, Death Star 2 blowing up, Vader being redeemed, and Anakin Skywalker being redeemed, and the celebration after it, because it just brings you so much hope and joy that, yeah, evil can be defeated, and it might come back and stuff like that, but just how hopeful everyone was and celebrating that the tyranny was over. Those couple moments in Star Wars, they're iconic film moments, and you can't watch them without getting excited about it. So those are the questions. I'm going to say that there were 9 total questions. So just after that, you can kind of get a feeling from what you see on my shelves back there and the Phantom Menace poster. I honestly just love everything Star Wars. I recently got the Ewok Adventure movies that I had never seen before that I watched, and I'm going to be on a podcast talking about that. I'm not somebody who criticizes what another fan likes, and I love all the trilogies. I'm super excited. I just read everything that's out right now for the High Republic, and after seeing the Disney shareholder meeting with all of the planned series and movies. I honestly feel like it's the best time to be a Star Wars fan, and I'm really glad that I was born when I was, because I got to enjoy the original trilogy with my mom. I got to grow up with the prequel trilogy. I was the right age for the sequel trilogy, and I was super pumped when more Star Wars movies were coming out. And now I'm at the age where I'm doing YouTube stuff and I'm playing Star Wars video games, and I can appreciate fans of every age, um, because we can like similar things even though we were generations apart. So I think Star Wars is one of those fandoms that can bring everybody together, and it's been really nice, especially this year, to have something like this to lean back into, to dive back into, because it was a rough year for a lot of people, and the people who have supported my streams and interact with me on Twitter have been such a huge part of helping me through this year. So that's it for the Ewok Q&A video, and I'll be putting out more content. I'm super excited. I've got a couple podcasts lined up, with being a guest on a couple podcasts, and just trying to enjoy Star Wars this year. So thank you, everybody. May the Force be with you. Yub nub.